That's telling me we still got to fear, isn't it?
That's right.
See, people didn't erase the main ingredient that's going to help you save yourself. See, you're not just automatically saved. He said, work it out. And how? With fear and trembling. Not just fear, he said trembling. That means you realize the danger of God. Most people don't realize the danger of God. He flooded the world. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And Jesus coming back to bring some wrath. And you have made light of that. And you think you just blasing around. Oh, I'm saved. Look, you better get some fear. Let's go further. Let's go to Isaiah, the 8th chapter. Isaiah 8. We're going to go to the old book because we're going to show you. Because again, if you read one verse, that's why you can't build your doctrine on one verse. If you just left off at that 1 John 4 and 18, you think, oh, we ain't got to fear. Perfect love casted out fear. We don't have to fear God, just love God. See, people get lofty with their conversation, not understanding that one verse. But you got too many other verses tell you to fear God, so you got to reconcile it. You got to see what is it really saying. Fear God is clear throughout the Bible. What's not clear is what John was saying when he said perfect love casted out fear. We're going to show you Isaiah 8 and verse 12. Isaiah 8, we're going to read two verses, 12 and 13. Go ahead, Isaiah 8 and verse 12. Go ahead.
Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy. Neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid.
Oh, now the Lord told the prophet, he said, look, don't even get in line with what everybody else going with. See, you can't follow the crowd. The road to life is straight and narrow, and it's only a few people going that road, on that route. But the road to destruction is broad. Everybody going on that path. Some people say, well, you think y'all, it's only a few of y'all got it right. That's what the Bible says. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few people find it. Because we want to go our own way and think it's okay. That's because you don't have no fear, brothers and sisters. So he said here, don't call everything a confederacy that they talking about, and neither fear ye their fear, neither be afraid. So now he's telling you not to fear certain things, right? Why wouldn't you fear what everybody else fears? See, you don't have to fear what everybody else fears or be afraid. Why? Because perfect love casts it out, that kind of fear. But do away with the fear of God. Let's see, verse 13.
Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself.
Now sanctify the Lord. Set him apart. Don't worry about all the small stuff. Set the Lord on high. Sanctify. That means set the Lord apart. The Lord of hosts himself, and do what?
And let him be your fear.
Oh, and let him be your fear, right? See, he told you don't fear what everybody else fears. That's what perfect love will get rid of that fear. You might have used to been worried about this, worried about that. Fearing what somebody think about you, just like you start following the Lord. You stop eating pork because the Bible says swine is unclean, don't eat it. You stop celebrating pagan days. You start following what the Bible say. You know, people going to laugh at you. They're going to think something wrong with you. You can't fear that. You cannot fear that. Sanctify the Lord, and he said what? Let him be your fear, and what else?
And let him be your dread.
Oh, let him be your fear and your dread. That's what John was telling us in 1 John 4. Perfect love casts out fear. You're not going to fear this other stuff. You're not going to worry about the small stuff. You're not going to worry about what man can do to you. Jesus tells you that. We're going to read that a little bit later. Let's go further. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12. See, you can't erase the fear of God, brothers and sisters. And by preachers not teaching people to fear God, people are in trouble all over the place. They don't have no respect for God. And when God comes with his wrath, you're going to be shocked. Because you never expected it. You thought it was all about this lofty thought of love. Not real love. Because if you truly love, you're going to fear God. You can't properly love God unless you fear him. Because you got to know how to respect God before you can love him. You got to understand that. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. Go ahead.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Wait a minute now. This is the bottom line to everything that we talk about. He said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, the Bible says. This is the conclusion of the whole matter. It's telling us about fearing God, though. Haven't done away with it. Fear God and keep his commandments. This is what we want to do away with, but this is the ingredient you need to save yourself. Didn't Paul say in Philippians 2:12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling?
That's right.
That's telling us we still got to fear God. No, we won't fear what man can do to us. We're going to read that. Just like he said in Isaiah 12. He said, don't fear what they can do to you. Isaiah 8, I'm sorry. He said, don't fear what they feared. Don't be afraid, but sanctify the Lord. Let him be your fear. Let him be your dread. Let's go for, verse 14. Go ahead.
For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
See, this is why you need to fear God, brothers and sisters. Even though God haven't dealt with you yet because you're not doing what he wants you to do, that does not mean by any means that he's not going to deal with you. He is going to deal with you. It's just a matter of time. So he back up why your whole duty is to fear God and keep his commandments, because God going to judge you. Right. See, people try to make us think when you die, you go straight to heaven and you go straight to hell and that's it. No, you don't go nowhere. You go to the grave and you got to wait on Judgment Day. But you will get judged. You will be accountable for everything that you have done. That's what lets you know that to fear God and do it forever, like the Bible say, because he backed it up by saying, you fear God and keep his commandments, that's your whole duty, because he's going to judge you at Judgment Day. Everything, secret thing, whatever, you're going to have to answer for it. And then again, he said that's your whole duty. So if that's your whole duty, how can you erase the whole duty of man? You can't do it. That's your duty. That's your purpose for being here. He made you to be able to follow him so you can get a great reward, but you don't want to listen. Let's go look at Judgment Day. Let's go to Revelation, the 20th chapter. Revelation 20. All the way to the end. This is when Judgment Day going to come. This is why he said, fear God and keep his commandments. Revelation 20 and verse 11. Go ahead.
And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
Okay, here's the throne. Here's the throne of judgment. Great white throne. Go ahead.
And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open.
Now, here go the dead coming back to life, and the books were open. God is technical. He even got books. You can't even lie your way out of God. I didn't do that. He's going to say, open the book. You did this on such and such day. Go ahead.
And another book was open, which is the book of life.
And you got the book of life, but you got other books too, which recorded your acts, because he said you're going to have to pay for everything you have done, even secret stuff. Go ahead.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. According
to their works. That means I do got to have some work. People say, oh, you ain't got to do no work. Jesus died and we got grace, child. Look, brother and sister, faith without works is dead. You can't say you got faith in Jesus and don't follow him. Faith without works is dead. And here in Revelation, he said they will judge every man according to his works. That's in the books. Go ahead, verse 13.
And the sea gave up the dead which were in it.
Wherever you died at, don't worry about it. God going to bring you back. See, you can't even die and get away from God. He going to wake you up. Some people commit suicide like that's the end. That's not the end. He's going to wake you up. You're going to have to answer. Go ahead.
And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works.
See, death and hell in this case is just the grave. He's going to wake you up from that grave. And then he's going to judge you according to your work. This is why, what does Solomon say? Therefore, we need to get our act together and fear God and keep his commandments, because you got to look forward to this, brothers and sisters. Go ahead, verse 14.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
This is the lake of fire. You don't want to get this one. Go ahead.
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
See, if you're not in the book of life, if your works didn't add up, you're going to be in trouble. Let's go farther. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 5. Because this is all over the Bible. See, don't think it's confined to the Old Testament, fearing God. No, we read the New Testament too. And Paul going to tell you something in here that the average person don't know in 2 Corinthians 5. Though they read this to try to establish some other false teaching, they miss the real message here. 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 7. Go ahead, brother.
For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Oh, people say, well, we walk by faith, brother. We ain't got to worry about what you talking about. We walk by faith and not by sight. You got to understand what that means. Yeah, you believing in something that you haven't seen. We haven't seen God. We believe in He's going to give us reward, though we don't see the reward. But you get it through the Word of God. That don't mean you just throw out any type of logic, brothers and sisters.